Hey guys, what's going on? It's Steph here. Hope you've been well. I know I have. So in this week's episode, once again, I went to a site I've been to in the past. I know this is becoming a recurring theme, but it's only so easy to get out right now because our state still hasn't entirely opened back up due to COVID-19, but I guess we're reopening next week, I think. So then maybe I can door knock for new permissions. We'll see what happens. Either way, even though I've been to this site multiple times, it still produces. And usually what I like to do with this site is let it kind of marinate for 6 months, see what happens. And every time I go, when I give it those 6 months, I come up with more relics. And what I really love about this site is that it runs the gamut from 1600s artifacts all the way up to late Victorian. So there's a nice mix. You never know what you're gonna get when you get that great signal on your machine. Okay, so just two things before we get into this week's episode. Number one, big announcement. I am now a proud affiliate of KELLYCO metal detectors. I'm sure most of you know who KELLYCO is because they are pretty much the largest dealer in the United States for metal detectors. So I'm really stoked to be part of that team. If you're looking for new gear or you just want to add to your arsenal, I'll put links in the description below and you can check out the full array of KELLYCO products, or you can go to my equipment specific links, which I will include in every video based on whatever I'm using at the time. And what does this mean for the channel? It means that I will continue to use whatever metal detector is best for the job at hand. So you'll see me using that Equinox, you'll see me using the Simplex, and you'll even see me using the Garrett AT Max again, and probably even more detectors in the future. So that's very exciting, and I really hope that I can help you out. If you have any questions at all about metal detecting or the gear that you might need, especially if you're getting started, shoot me an email at stefdiggs@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to help you out. So that was number one order of business. Now on to something I just feel I should say. Yesterday on June 18th, late at night, I was scrolling through my Facebook news feed and very quickly found out that sadly, White's Electronics is going under. They're going to cease production, and that's a really sad day. I've never swung a White's machine, but let me tell you, a lot of the people who influenced me in the first place to get into this hobby that are just incredible ambassadors of the sport. Many of them swing a White's detector or they're on the field team. So it's really tough for me to see that end of an era. White's was one of the very first brands in the United States to produce metal detectors. So it's really nostalgic for a lot of people who have been in the hobby for a long time. And I just wanted to offer my condolences to the field team and also everybody who works at White's Metal Detectors. I'm very sad to see you go. With that said, another quick shameless plug. KELLYCO is still carrying the full line of White's products while they last. So if you want to get in on that, I would jump on that sooner than later if you want to buy more White's machines, because you're not going to be able to in the future. But I'll put a link below to the White's landing page on the KELLYCO site so that you can browse for gear if you want to try to get your hands on some of it now. Okay, so I think I've rambled enough. On to the video. Okay, back at an old reliable spot. Some public land in the woods. I found a few coppers out here. A lot of Victorian era stuff, and I think I just found something awesome that I have been dying to find. So it was a really bouncy signal, but it was very loud, about 8 inches down, and I am hoping this is what I think it is, because if so, that's super cool. What I believe this is a ramrod guide to a really old musket. I'll have to put an example on the screen of how this would have been attached to a musket to kind of explain it a little bit better than I can put it into words. It'd be better to see a diagram. But if that's what it is, that is so cool. You know, I don't come across gun parts very often, usually just bullets all over the place, but that's awesome. Really good start to the day. All right. Okay, that was a cool little bucket, listener. And you guys know how I've been whipping out the bayonet lately? Look what else I have! Woohoo! I love this. It's just a replica. It doesn't fire. Look. Doesn't fire at all. But it's a really beautifully crafted replica. I've always wanted one of these. So this hangs proudly in the relic room. Well, it goes on a stand, but no matter. I just wanted to show you where the ramrod guide would go. So here's your ramrod. And this is the ramrod guide. Technically, it's called a ramrod thimble. A lot of detectorists will call it a guide with the thimble being back here. It has like a pointed end to it. But in any event, I just kind of wanted an excuse to whip out another piece of weaponry in my arsenal, I guess. This one's not real though. The bayonet is very real, but this is not. This is just an awesome display piece. So thought I would show you that just for visual interest, but also I will put a picture up on the screen right now of the musket I think this may have come off of, which is probably a brown bess musket, I'm thinking, just based on the construction. But what's really interesting about these is that all of the brass fittings had to be crafted by hand. Every last bit. Mass production wasn't a thing yet. We didn't see that until the 1800s. Really, really cool piece. I'm very happy to have it. I've always wanted one. Back to the show. Okay, so I got a mid-50s signal reading 8 inches down, and it sounded pretty big. Knew it was going to be good, and I cheated and took a quick peek at it, but all I can see so far is that it appears to be a bridal rosette. So, whoa. Oh my God, look how fancy that is. That's going to have a ton of plating left on it. This is easily mid-1800s because, yeah, the back is lead filled, it appears. I'm going to brush this off and come right back. Well, I've had pretty good luck with rosettes this year. That is gorgeous. All right, be back in a second. Okay, so I brushed it off. That is just gorgeous. And you know what? I don't have one this age that's fully intact like this, because this still has the attachment points on the back. That's beautiful. This is why I always come back to this spot. I know it's really nondescript, but I'd be crazy to tell you where I am. It just gives up so much stuff. I mean, I've found mid-1600s coinage here. You heard that right. I have found Victorian, I've found Georgian, so it just has a little bit of everything. That's beautiful. That's going to clean up so nice. Awesome. All right, let you know what's next. All right, not too far from that rosette. I got a mid-60s signal reading 8 to 10 inches down. And looks like we've got some brass in the hole. Something. Oh, I know what that is. This is a parasol slide for an umbrella. Very, very popular, at least in terms of this style, in the 1800s. So not surprised at all to see it. I found a couple of these out here before. And pretty much any site with 1800s activity, you'll find these. And they will always ring high because I'm not going to push the dirt out right now, but this is all hollow. So, hey, that's a pretty cool find. Add it to the parasol collection. Got plenty of those. All right. Okay, doing pretty well out here today. I got a 66 to 67 signal. It wasn't very deep, maybe 4 inches. And I just saw it. Yeah, here it is. So who knows what that is? I do. Won't make this take too long, so I will just tell you. This is part of, actually just plain part of a corset, because this is metal right here, obviously. And normally you just find these little clasps. So this would have gone up the back of a corset and clasped it together. And I definitely do not envy women of the Victorian era and into the early 1900s. Must have been so uncomfortable. All right, I'll let you know what's next. All right, so I'm working my way down this big hill here. Can't really quite see how steep it is, but it's quite steep. And I got a 69 to 70 signal, pretty solid. About 8 to 10 inches down. It was underneath that root and I popped it up. And it's this big piece of brass. And I have no idea what it is yet. So hopefully we can figure it out to get... Oh! That's so cool. There's a deer on it. Oh man, I don't know exactly what that is, but let's see. What's going on with this side? You know what? Let me get right back to you. I'm going to brush this off a bit. Okay, I brushed this off. And it's so detailed. Oh my goodness. So it's a big buck. And then you can see a forest of trees there. Pretty darn sure this is the front. And the recessed images in the back. it looks like there was an attachment point there, maybe there. So I think this is probably the front of another bridal rosette. I'm not sure, but I really hope I can flatten this out. It's absolutely beautiful. All right. Okay, so I got a dead 50 signal, only about 4 inches down, so it's really loud. I already took a look at what it was, and certainly not terribly exciting, but it's the remnants of a, I guess, lead harmonica reed. Some of the reeds are still intact there. But, hey, it's a relic, so it goes in the pouch. Okay, I just got an incredible signal about, I don't know, it was bouncing between 85 and like 94. And it's down there in the hole. I took a quick peek at it, but I really don't know what it is, so maybe I'll figure it out when I've got this rolling. What the heck is that? Actually, I don't even know what this is made out of. Looks like it's kind of screwed onto something there. Probably just a fancy piece of furniture or something, I'm not sure. But it looks like it has a design on there, so let me clean it up. I'll come right back. Okay, I cleaned that piece off. Still not 100% sure what it's made out of. It almost feels like lead. And in some spots it looked like there was some white coming through, so that's possible. But I have no idea. I'm hoping it's something cool. It's pretty ornate, so. Okay, I've got to tell you more about this piece. When I got home, as I often do, I posted this to the group ID Me on Facebook. I had no clue on earth what this could be. A gun handle did cross my mind, but I just didn't see how it could possibly be one. The fixture just didn't seem to screw on anything that would have been like a gun barrel, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna get this home and it's gonna be just some, piece of furniture, I guess. Like some furniture fixture, I guess. I don't know. But someone identified it immediately, and it turns out that this is a 1600s toy Petronel gun handle. I hope I'm saying Petronel properly. I think I am. Petronel guns were first popular in the 1500s. You heard that right. 1500s, and gained popularity throughout the 1600s, and then we kind of transitioned over to flintlocks. So the Petronel is the precursor to flintlock pistols. That's how old that thing is. And it's a toy, which is so cool. I've never found a toy that old. So I'll throw photos up on the screen for you right now. Now, these photos were all taken from the Portable Antiquities Scheme website. For those of you who do not know, in the UK, if you have found something of a certain composition, meaning like gold, brass, silver, what have you. I don't know the exact rules on this, so don't take my word for it exactly. Or if it's over 300 years old, I believe, you need to report it. They will log it, put it on the website so that they have a catalog of things that have been found over there. To be honest with you, I really wish we had that same reporting system in the US, but no matter, that can be a whole other discussion for another day. And what's interesting is that once I found out what it was and I posted it to my timeline on Facebook, a bunch of people chimed in to say, hey, I found one too. I found one too. I found one too. I was pretty much the only person who knew what it was after it got identified. All of my friends who chimed in to say, hey, I found one of those as well. Oh my God, I think I threw it out. I think I left it at a bottle dump, blah, 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 blah. The list went on and on and on because people thought it was junk. Let this be a lesson to you. I have said this before, I'm gonna say it again. If you don't know if it's trash, don't throw it out. Make that space in your relic room, guys. Put it away in a closet if you have to. If you don't have the time or the patience to identify it at that moment, at least hang on to it. This is how Native American kettle points have gotten thrown out before. You really, really need to do your research. And for me, I like hopping on it, especially when it's a beautiful little thing like that. I really had to know. Okay, so I got a 60s signal. Really, really loud. Only a few inches in the ground. And we've got something brass here, I think. Yep. That is, wow, that's fancy. Oh, you know what? I think that's a suspender clasp, I want to say. Look at that scroll work. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. It's not complete, I don't think. Yeah, it looks like this piece is broken off here, but it is really pretty. Love this spot. All right, that's all the hunting for this week. We're going to hop into the wrap up now. And as always, if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you loved this video. Let's go take an up close and personal look at everything I dug in this week's video. Okay, wrap up time. Let's take a look at what we found in those woods. So, those are those pieces of harmonica reed that I had found. It's like a lead pewter material, I think. Really crumbly. I don't even know if this is going to make the harmonica reed jar. I have several mason jars now for tack buckles, pocket knives, D-buckles, and harmonica reeds. Because I can't bring myself to throw them away, but they're not exactly display worthy. So that's usually what I do with them, but I don't even know if that's going to make it in a jar. Just wanted to include it in the wrap up. We have our corset clasp with part of the corset still attached to it. That is a new one. Never found one like that before. These I didn't, film, but every so often I'll find a square nail that I really want to keep. And this is one of them. It's just this chunky, perfect, non-corroded square nail. So I thought that was cool, and I decided to hang on to it. This, I believe, maybe is a bale seal, maybe has to do with a gun. I have no idea. If you know, comment below, because I've kept it this long. May as well find out what it is, right? Okay, the beautiful silver-plated horse bridle rosette. I believe this is probably 1830s to 1850s, but just look how it glistens like that. Isn't that cool? All I did was use a little bit of lemon juice. I soaked it face down, and then I just took a Q-tip to it, and it's basically pewter with silver plating. I think that's silver plating or silver wash, whatever you want to call it, with a copper or brass face in the middle. Never found one like that before, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very happy with that. This beautiful piece, which now I'm looking a little closer at it, because this is clearly meant to be viewed up close, I'm going to go with pocket watch face or pocket watch back. That's probably Victorian, I would say. And I'm not even going to try to unbend it. It's very sturdy the way it is. And frankly, it's absolutely gorgeous the way it is. So why change it? All right. Our parasol slide. I've never found one quite like this before. So again, those are one of the usual suspects. We find those everywhere, especially if there's been Victorian era activity. Really nice little suspender clasp. Sometimes I get sick of filming suspender clasps, but when they're beautiful like that, I mean, I'm not going to leave that out of a video. That's gorgeous. Love it. My little ramrod guide here, or ramrod thimble, technically. Really nice patina to it. And when I brushed the dirt off, I was able to see exactly how crude that was. You can see that bubble there from the casting. It's just so cool. And these little notches, I'm not sure exactly what purpose those serve. Maybe just to, when this is shoved up inside of the gun, maybe there was some kind of epoxy there. I don't know enough about gunsmithing to answer that, but so happy with it. So happy with it. I still think that's one of the coolest things I've dug this year. Even though, it's not the prettiest find, it's not the most exciting looking piece, but I've always wanted to find one, and very rarely do I ever find gun parts. But I guess this week was an exception, because we also have our 1600s toy gun handle in perfect condition, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, that's just, what can you say? That is so cool. I was really thrilled to find that. So happy to add it to my 17th century collection. And that's that. So everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this week's video, and we will see you next week.